Elvis, no. If you're going to be here, you have to relax, please. You have to relax. Come on, lay down. Thank you. Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I've updated here. I haven't done anything since Vlogmas, so you get to see me in all my very disheveled glory today because I'm going to be doing a little bit of organising, and there's something on the lens of my camera. I don't think it'll be coming through, but anyway, there's my finger close up for you. I don't know whether I've discussed this on the channel yet, but welcome if you... If you've never been to my channel before, this is the chaos that goes on in my brain, and this is what comes out in these videos. If you've been here for a while, I'm sure you're very used to it. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I have my computer chugging away beside us. My fridge is chugging away behind us. I'm hoping that the noise cancellation on my microphone is cutting that out. But anyway, collect the thoughts. Calm thyself. Today, I thought I would have a chat because we've had some developments around the house that Simon and I have had a discussion. I don't know whether I shared this on here. I could have spoken about it in Vlogmas. I'm not sure. But we've basically decided, because my crafting and my business is taking over the whole house, that we would then dedicate our second bedroom, because we only have two, the second bedroom, which is very small. I wish we could put our bed in that room, but we can't because it's our bed is too big to fit in the tiny room. So I have a small room that is going to be repurposed as my craft room and business room. So technically everything that belongs to my crafting, apart from my yarn fortress, which sits just here, which you would have seen in the back of my videos from time to time, that will stay there because that definitely is not going upstairs. But basically I need to clear out everything else, especially under the stairs here, so that we can set up a dedicated desk kind of gaming space for Simon, because we were going to have a study. We were going to turn the second bedroom into a study that we would both use for our computers. We could game in there, I could craft in there. But just as a lot of you would know, crafters tend to accumulate a lot of stuff. Tools take up a lot of room. When you've got spinning wheels, looms, they all take up a lot of space. So it just has become unfeasible for us to be able to share that room, unfortunately. So what we are going to do is I will be taking over that room. I will be clearing all of my stuff from downstairs, which is where I am now, taking it upstairs and presumably trying to fit it all in that craft room. I will probably need to do some destashes of some stuff. Yarn, not so much. Fabric, possibly. But what I really need to destash is knitting machines, because I have too many. I have purchased them. I've gone through this many times on the channel. You would have heard me say this. At least most of what is under the stairs, like, because obviously you can see the stairs is an angle. I have a knitting machine set up on a stand here, which will be staying. I don't know where it's going to go, but it will be staying, but it won't be staying in that position because that's what Simon is going to need for his desk area. But then on the more shallow, like the lower side of the stairs, I have a whole bunch of knitting machines stored that I basically bought. I've got two Singer 321s and a ribber to go with those, that I bought in a lot to get the knitting machine table that you can just see there, that brown wedge, and a cone winder. So I bought a whole lot just to get those two items out of it. And that actually came with a lot of stuff. Like I got an intarsia carriage, I got a colour changer, I got a bunch of stuff in that lot, which I do not really want. I've tried using those machines, but I'm so used to my brother knitting machines now, the Singer machines, I just don't really care for them. I was going to go to all the effort to do them up, like clean them all out, clean up all the needles, get any spare parts that were needed, but I just don't think I'm going to do that now, unless one of my local Adelaide, South Australian friends. I'm a bit bright, aren't I? My local South Australian friends is interested, in which case I will do them up. I probably would want them to go together, the singers, because the ribber matches both of the machines, and one of the machines is in better condition than the other, so it's probably good to have that as a backup for spare parts if you needed it in the future. I need to get rid of those singer machines. I have 2 PASAP pinkies, and the knitting machine that I said was set up there is a PASAP Duo 80, so it's a slightly more modern version of the pinky, and I'm very comfortable now with the Duo 80, so I don't think I want to go back to the pinkies. So one of the pinkies is pretty much scrap. It's got bits snapped off it. It's filthy. The needles, a lot of the needles are rusted, so I'm thinking I might break that down, because that came with a lot of accessories as well. I could probably sell that off, but I am hoping to have a complete pinky to sell as well, and I need to get rid of them. It's not going to be a single day kind of effort, but I thought this video could be a little bit of an introduction to my eventual journey towards having a functional crafting room that contains my business stuff as well. This is kind of the intro. This is the impetus behind it. This is, yeah. I thought I would give you a bit of a tour of how things stand in my house. I am a bit of a clutter bug. As you can probably tell, I probably have undiagnosed ADHD. So I am very messy. I have a bit of, object blindness. If I see something often enough, I don't see it anymore. I kind of just live with the clutter, and I'm going to have to address it at some point, especially now I'm getting older, I'm getting less patient. I've never been a patient person, but to constantly having to move piles, walk around piles, deal with that is just, I just kind of sometimes want to light a match and set my house on fire, but not that I ever would. Yes, but I'm sure some of you probably understand that feeling. Elvis is crying at the door, I think, because he thinks that I am talking to someone. So I might have a quick sip of water, go and grab the dog. Maybe he will put in a little cameo for you. Nat, you asked about him the other day. We'll see if we can get him on for a cameo. And then we'll have a bit more of a chat, and then I'll take you for a tour about how things stand currently, and we can have a look at some stuff. Okay, we have a dog. You might have just seen him, but he's going to come around this side. You should come around this side and say hello to everybody. Oh, you're going to come over there. All right. Oh. There we go. Elvis will be joining us for this portion of the video. So what was I talking about? Okay, so we need to basically, I think along the line, one of these episodes is probably going to be a whip audit, because I have so many things on the needles. I have project bags everywhere. They take up a lot of space. I think I'm going to have to do a destash of my knitted items as well. My sweater drawer is chockers, and half of the stuff I don't wear, because basically in winter I wander around in my cruiser cardigan all the time. Yes, that's a pattern by Kristen Finley, and I have 2 of them, and I tend to wear them all the time, all winter. It's what I reach for. So I don't go out very often. When I do go out, I do change it, because my cruiser cardigans, as you can imagine, have had a lot of wear, and they are not as pristine as they were. So I don't tend to wear them out of the house unless it's just nipping down to the shop or something. So I do need my other sweaters, and I'm always going to be knitting new sweaters. But yeah, I just don't have the space in my drawer. I have the type of bed that has the drawers underneath. Unfortunately, due to our bed head, we can't get to one of the drawers. We have to pull the whole bed out or lift the mattress off to get into that drawer. So it's not like I can put sweaters that I'm going to wear in winter in that drawer, because it's just too much effort to get them out. They just won't get worn. Like, that's where all my knitted accessories are. So I don't use those either. So I need to do that. I need to do whip order. I need to do a cull of knitted items because I'm always knitting more items. What else? I need to basically organize work stuff, organize my own stuff. I have so much fabric, so I need to make project bags and quilts and things to get that fabric used, which is probably not really going to be part of this series, but it is something that needs to be looked at. I have considered doing some sort of curating fabric collections to put in the shop. So if I cut fat quarters of certain fabrics and just sell fat quarter sets, things like that, just in the shop to destash a little bit, maybe do some scrap bags of little bits of fabric. Yeah, so that's sort of, I think, what I need to do with that. There's at least one fly in my house, and I don't know how it got in my house, but it's bugging me and Elvis like you wouldn't believe. So yeah, these are all the things that are just going through my mind at the moment. To even get into the room, I need to move my little trolley, like the little IKEA trolleys, you know, those little upright ones with the three. I need to move that, and then I need to move 2 large plastic containers just to walk into the room. And I got a bookcase brought over by a friend over the weekend, so that is now in place. So I have my storage all sorted, and I need to work within what I have. The only thing we are waiting on now is I have a trestle table set up in there as a desk, and we are going to convert, I have a 2x4 Kallax unit, which we are going to convert to a desk by turning it on its side and putting a top on it, but we don't have the top yet, so we can't complete the desk. So that's the only thing we're waiting on really, is being able to complete the desk, plus clearing out under the stairs so Simon's Lego and everything can come downstairs and be put under the stairs to clear some room in the room upstairs, because there's still some of his stuff up there too. There is so much that needs to be done just to get that room functional, and I really want it done this year. So there's a lot to do, and I want to take you guys along. I want this to be a long-term kind of series that we have on the channel. How me, as somebody who lives in a very small house, it's only, I think, it's only about 100 square meters. So yeah, we have a small house, and somehow I'm going to have to make it work. So we're going to make a start today. We're going to do a baseline and see if we can do a little bit of shuffling around today. I probably will. But anyway, I have to feed the dog his lunch, and then we will start a little bit of the tour, just showing you the garbage that I have everywhere. It's not garbage, it's just clutter. But I will be right back. What do you think, Elvis? What do you think we're going to do? What do you reckon? We're going to get this sorted? Yeah? Do you think? I don't think so. This is going to be hard. I don't want to do it, but I want to do it. Yeah. You just had lunch? Did you just have lunch? You did. Was it good lunch? Okay, friends. We are in my entryway. So I am using my gimbal. I'm not very comfortable with it, but we will try and persist. So walking into my house, obviously stairs, that is something that needs to go to somebody else. So I have stuff here. Elvis is obviously going to join us. Down here, there's Elvis. See, I can't do this gently, so I hope I don't give you seasickness. This is my skein winder. So when I do my self-strapping and stuff, this is what I use to put it back into a manageable skein that you guys buy and can put on your Swift at home. I have my shredder, which is going to stay. I have, this is something I've been trying to sell for a long time. Nobody wants it. It's like an IKEA, the cupboard bin thing. You put the bins in it and it slides in and out. It doesn't fit in our cupboard, so we're getting rid of it. I have an ice cream maker. I have some books. I have a panini maker, which I'm actually thinking I might keep. That is plastic bag that had yarn in it, and it's just sitting there. It's just trash. Looks like a pair of jeans or shorts or something that we're going to donate. So this is kind of mostly get rid of. This stuff, that stays. The skein winder stays. Additionally, we just recently got some stuff from our storage area, and this is all fabric. I've got two bags, like two vacuum bags there full of fabric. Under here, under that box, I have a loom on top, but under that box is all of those knitting machines I was talking about earlier. That is a project I was frogging. This has just come out of the craft room. That is something that I am going to sell because I have baskets that go in that. There is stuff from my parents. I think there's knitting magazines on top as well. Knitting machine magazines. There's my diploma from uni. A journal. Like, there is just stuff everywhere. This under here, my Swift. And then these I bought them to make candles, and they actually turn out to be quite good little tool pots for my knitting machine, which is under here. Random item that I made out of hand spun and just left there. My Vivid blanket squares, which I think I shared on Vlogmas. That is random packaging stuff, which I think Simon's supposed to be taking to work. Tea towels that need hemming. Down here we have more stuff. This one here is basically a bunch of half-finished things. There's a quilt that is not finished. There is some accessories here on top, which is stuff that I have had knitted for a long time and just I don't particularly care for them, so I don't want them. A quilt I made, which I intend to probably give away. Some packaging on top. That is for my beading, that board there. But underneath here, I have beading stuff in that basket, and that's all beading, my beads in a box. This is all stuff that came with the Pinky knitting machine. And next to Elvis's bowl, that is also stuff, mostly apart from that Kato box, that all came with the Pinky knitting machine that I said I need to scrap. And then coming around this side, it just keeps going, guys. That is my yarn fortress just here. And that is a parcel I got this week from Nundle, so I haven't opened that yet. That's got yarn for me to dye in it and some fibre for me to blend. That is my Advent project, which I have actually been working on. This is kind of where I mostly sit. So you can see my camera on the tripod there. I'm on my iPhone at the moment. My laptop, so I basically do all my computer work, most of it apart from my actual business stuff upstairs. I do upstairs, but this stays down here. It's like my gaming laptop, it's my video editing laptop, etc. And down behind my laptop, which I have now shut, is more whips. So all the way through here, all the way to the back there and back down is whips. Back there, I think, is Granger's old sweaters, which are full of holes, which I was probably going to frog and re-knit into sweaters for Elvis. I don't know whether I'm going to do that anymore because will I get to it? Will I get to it? And then, of course, down there, I have my loom, my 4-shaft loom. As you can see, Simon has Lego about the place. My Karomi and Squishmallows. So we're just big kids at heart, as you can see. So I've got more crafting stuff up there. So yes, I have a bunch of dying plants over in the corner. We will not talk about those. So yeah, under that blue cloth, that is my Duo 80 Passat, and we'll need to move the pegboard upstairs as well. This container down here is Simon's Lego, a massager. That is an empty container full of packaging again. So that's kind of where things stand downstairs. All right, so upstairs, like Elvis is on the landing there. So that's when you come up the stairs. This stuff is kind of on its way out. Some of it is to be thrown away. That is Simon's to deal with. Those are curtains that I need to wash. This stuff over here, that can go. I'm going to be listing that. I don't like it. I have never been able to get that to work. There are people who love them. So that can go to one of them. This is my warping board from when I do self-striping. So that needs to go in the craft room. That is my very first knitting machine, this one down here. The punch card doesn't work on it, but I think I'm going to keep that as a backup for my other one. Just quickly, I haven't made my bed, but those are the two containers that I'm constantly moving. That's mostly full of trash and a plant stand. That is an underlay which we need to take to the laundromat to get clean. And this is my trolley that I was talking about. So that all has to be moved in order for me to get in here. So this is the doorway. It's not a lot of space, as you can see, and I have all of my storage is now in place because I got that bookcase on the weekend. The Ivar I bought a couple months ago, a month or so ago. That is the Kallax that I'm going to turn into my desk. And then if we zoom around here, this is another IKEA bookcase that I have. It's just got a bunch of, that's all fabric, my e-spinner. That is a project I need to complete for my mother-in-law. There's some more spare yarn. There's a Taylor Swift album. My sewing machine, which I'm actually thinking of selling. These are whips in bags, books, yarn winders, scrap yarn, quilt clips. This paper bag has fibre in it. As you can see, I really like Kuromi. This is a diffuser, yarn bowl, and then if we come back down, this is my knitting machine table. So there is a knitting machine and ribber in there. Old iMac, more leftover yarn, my Life of a Showgirl yarns. This is my actual desk chair, so that will be the one that stays. This one here is Simon's gaming chair, and as I mentioned, I have a trestle table, a collapsible trestle table now as my desk. I have started doing gaming videos, so all those wires and things over there are for my Switch. If you are interested, I have started doing a let's play of Animal Crossing. So if you want to see that, I will put a link in the description. And then finally, we kind of have this stuff over here. That is mostly quilt batting, and then that is fibre for blending. That is the Christmas container. These are my loom reeds in there. And then I have mostly just like linens and stuff, violins. That box there has got a lot of bobbins and things in it for spinning and some weaving stuff. That is fibre in there. And then further down in the cupboard here is a lot of sort of crafting stuff. So and then I have my larger rigid hevel loom here, and then I have cutting mats, ironing board, rulers, and this little Moroccan tea table that Simon has had, I think, since he was pretty much born. So I will get back on camera and have a chat. So that's my house, warts and all. You've basically seen my whole house. It is not very big. You've even seen my linens in my cupboard here next to me. So I have a lot of things that kind of need to fit in this room, and I also have more that needs to come. Basically, this shelf that I've been given is kind of a bit of a godsend because there is a lot of space. I was returned by my parents a lot of my childhood toys, and they're from the 80s and I'm quite attached to them, so I am going to keep the top, at least the very top shelves and maybe the top of the bookcase for displaying my 80s toys. I'm thinking with the long shelf, which is the long shelf is the one that's here with that. That's a big bag of lavender, which I was going to make lavender sachets with, which I have not. So it's just been stinking up my room for God knows how long. That's a big long shelf. I don't know if you noticed the bookcase. It sort of alternates divided shelves and a long shelf. So that long shelf, I think I'm probably going to empty the box that you saw up in the top of the wardrobe into there, so all of my bobbins and weaving little bits and pieces are available for me to like grab without having to get up in the top of my wardrobe and pull something down, which will also free the top of the wardrobe up for something else to go up there. So I'm going to have quite a lot of things that need to be sold. Got to get those knitting machines sold. I want to potentially sell my Singer heavy duty machine that I have here. I don't really like selling things. I feel very, I don't like talking and dealing with money. So I don't like selling things, but I can't just let these things go for free because it's just, they are in good condition. They are good items, and I can potentially, I'd like to, especially with the knitting machines, I'd like to recoup at least what I spent on them. And that's only around $120 each. So it's like, it's not a huge amount of money, but yeah, whether anybody will be interested in buying them is the other thing. So yeah, I'm just really kind of a little bit overwhelmed and not sure where to start. So do you guys have any hot tips? Let me know. How do you do this? I didn't talk about those containers over in the corner there. One of them is full of photos, like from my lifetime. The other one is full of quilting project fabric. Elvis is now crying at me. I don't see what I mean? Sometimes I just want to light a match. But I just need to put my big girl pants on and figure it out. Anyone want to come and do it for me?